Hi, my name is Andre Wang. I'm co-founder and CEO of Moonbility. At Moonbility, we help transport operators to manage disruptions better through enhanced communications. So in fact, the problem that we're addressing here is that 75% of disruptions are actually unplanned, forcing operators to react slowly and inefficiently. So that results in 20% extra cost in service replanning. Also, that messes up staff schedules. Also results in 500 million hours wasting waiting as well. So that's why we are creating our solution as what we call the disruption impact platform that helps operators to communicate what's happening in real time with the stakeholders, just with the right amount of information. Yeah, so disruptions are frustrating and annoying for normal people, but that's even more frustrating to those with reduced mobility. And just thinking about a person with a buggy or say a wheelchair user, when there is no way for them to understand whether there is a space for them before the bus actually arrives. So that causes a lot of unplanned disruptions. That is why we are doing this. We're proposing a new use case to provide real-time status of a wheelchair base for people with reduced mobility. By working with our industry partner, National Express, we plan to bring a real-world bus to test, particularly for those people who usually just go on the intermodal journey, just not only the bus, also including other transport modes such as a tram, such as a traditional heavy rail train as well. So we are testing our application with this intermodal journey. So what we plan to do, obviously further down to discussion, but what we plan to do with BCIMO is to set up 3 tram stops and also 2 bus stops here at BCIMO, and then we will ask the person with reduced mobility just get on board and say they get on a tram just from the stop A, go to B, go to C, and then get off the tram and move to the bus stop, and then get on the bus and then get off the the bus from the final stop. The reason why we applied to work with BCIMO is because that gives us the opportunity to bring in a range of industry partners to work with. Without BCIMO, the process is going to take longer. You need to just go through the procurement process, just even for that proof of concept stage. This solution, particularly for this use case, we call it wheels on board, because thinking about the wheelchair, thinking about the buggy, there are wheels on board. But in terms of how the end user will experience these products depends on the bus operators. So at this stage, we are providing the data can be used by the control room itself for them to plan the services. Also, if they want to pass that information down to passengers, there are a few steps then to go through, but our solution is API-based, meaning that it can be easily integrated back to their mobile app. I think the key part of taking part in this project is for us to quickly demonstrate our capability, and also the fact that we are transport mode agnostic. Well, transport is a big industry, but when you're offering this solution, people will think, oh, that's railway, oh, that's buses, oh, that's maritime, that's aviation. So it is important as a company for us to communicate the fact that this solution can be used by any operators as long as we find a fit, and invite them to see the solution operational on site. I think that's an important part, and that is what we've got offered by BCIMO, and that's what we'll be showing on the demo day as well. So we have invited quite a few stakeholders and potential clients to join the demo day already.
A big part of the testing is to identify the limitations of existing systems. I'm talking about the systems used by bus operators themselves, also transport operators themselves, and also our existing system. So for example, resolution-wise, and also is there any blind spot among cameras, light level, how many people a camera can deal with, and how many objects the cameras can detect within a millisecond. All of those will be covered in the testing scope, and that is the key part we're running today. By tracing that entire journey, we'll be able to also understand what's the dilemma of these group of users. So instead of only just providing real-time status of a wheelchair base, we know what to do next to support these people. So I think BCML has been really helpful in connecting us with just hardware providers. We've been a software since the very beginning, and so by taking care of the hardware side, for example, connecting us with those camera providers, also figuring out how to supply it, simply to supply a power to the cameras, wiring, and how to drill the holes on the vehicles. Those are new to us. So by working with BCML and finding the right partners to facilitate that installation and making sure that everything can happen in a very short period of time, that's been super helpful for us. I think the key deliverable for the testing sessions we run at BCMO is basically just to see if it works, to see if our technology works, and then I'm happy to say it works really well. We have been able to detect the number of people and also the number of wheelchairs, number of buggies, heavy luggages on board, and that is the main purpose of our technology. Well, in the short term, we can see this technology be used by many operators in the UK, not just tram and bus operators that we are testing with, but we can see this applied to other transport modes, including heavy rail particularly as well. We have got requests from heavy rail operators, including Great Western Railway recently, asking for exactly the same solution. So that is our short-term goal, to make sure this software can serve as many operators as possible. For the longer term, we don't only see this as a technology beneficial to operators and passengers. We are actually, when we designed this solution, we actually had to come in bus franchising in mind. With this technology, this is actually the first time in history the governments are able to trace their policy driven impact. By that, we mean it is the very first time when you're talking about you are going to improve your inclusivity, you're going to inclusion and also your accessibility. So far, without Moonbility, there is no way you can see if that really works, if the policy really works. But now we are with our digital twin interface, what we can do for the government, they can easily trace how many passengers with reduced mobility are actually on board for what period of time. What that really means to the government is they know, well, they are doing something good to the society, but what it also means to operator side is that they are having extra mechanisms for revenue protection, so they know how many people on board, and these are the people who've got the benefits from the government, so they don't really need to pay. But for the others, they still have the actual numbers of people on board. That means they can come back to the internal system to see if that matches their expectations in the beginning.